It's 6:34 a.m. while writing this. I'm on a flight to Gibraltar. This is my 13th country in the last 16 weeks. I haven't slept for over 24 hours. This is the 6th time this has happened to me in the last month or so. This isn't a film about travel. This isn't a film about living life to the full. It's about the result of trying to do these exact things. For as long as I can remember, I've always tried to be a someone. I've always put myself in the front of the queue when I don't even know what I'm lining up for. I always enjoyed travel. As a child, I didn't get to travel much. My parents didn't have that kind of money. I travelled for the first time alone at 17. It was to America. Go big or go home. I travelled there 3 times in that year. Each time it showed me a different way of life. There's something I'd never experienced before. I loved it. I love flying. Actually, no. I'm completely 100% obsessed with it. The window seat is my favourite. I just stare out the window. It's like a broken TV, where it's constantly stuck on the same channel. The older I got, the more I went down the rabbit hole of a travel lifestyle. I'm realising you could do that for a living. I couldn't take photos. I didn't know how to use a camera. But I was fortunate enough to know computers and pick up software very quickly. So I learnt the absolute shit out of Lightroom and Photoshop. I watched tutorials on them until the early morning, every morning, and I worked backwards. I learnt how to edit the photos before I'd even taken them, so then I figured out how I could take them. And slowly, over the course of 2017 and 2018, I started to get good. 5 years after travelling to America, I decided to say fuck it. And at the time, my dream, my idea, was to become a travel filmmaker. Someone who travelled the world with a camera and made films on countries and took photos of these amazing places.
Yeah, that's like full.
I put every single second into making content online that portrayed this, in the hope of getting some form of free flyer or something. Literally anything. I would take it if it came along. In the summer of 2018, I worked 3 jobs for 2 months. I slept 2 hours a night, and it was absolutely fucking dog shit. And I don't recommend this to anyone. Why did I work 3 jobs? Well, because I understand what makes the world turn around. Money. Now, I'm not academically smart. I'm not gifted with talent. And I don't excel in anything particular. But what I do have that most people lack is hustle. I have an insane work ethic, and hard work always beats talent. So I shot whatever I could. I shot 2 hotels completely for free. I worked for companies for free. I travel anywhere to film and get some form of reel together. So when that day comes, when that luck strikes, I'm ready. Because luck is a mixture of preparation and opportunity, and I was going to make sure I had both. In November 2018, I emailed over 300 hotels in one day for exchange for free stay. 400 the next day. I did all this while I was getting paid on a film set. Whoops. It was the last email of the day, just before the crew came back from lunch. I sent it to Interrail. Free tickets around Europe for the exchange of short online videos and photos for them to market with. 2 hours later, my proposal was accepted. The contract was signed by the end of the week, and I had 2 first-class tickets around Europe. And 8 weeks later, I was on a plane to Berlin for the start of something I've been working for years. The power of one email. In the 8 weeks travelling, I filmed every day. I walked for miles every day. I didn't eat much every day. I got up early every day. I went to bed every day. I charged my camera every day. I uploaded footage every day. And every day I pushed myself to places even I hadn't even got to before. My feet bled so badly in Italy that the blood in my socks actually moisturised my feet. They were so cracked you could probably class them as potholes. During those 8 weeks, I enjoyed -8 degrees to 35 degrees heat. It was insane. I was mentally, physically, and to my surprise, creatively burnt out by week 3. This wasn't what I signed up for. See, I saw all these photographers online living this insane lifestyle. And then there was me. 32 hours no sleep, 1 bowl of pasta a day, 3rd bottle of tap water for the day, and still 4 hours to go on this train. 8 weeks had been and gone, and this was my last train ride. Paris to London. Do you even understand how excited I was to be back in my motherland? Never had the sight of Greg's look so appealing to me. It took me years of preparation to get this trip of a lifetime, and it wasn't what I was looking for. And in a way I failed. And I'm happy I failed because it showed me what I really wanted to do. I've learnt more through this failure than I ever have through any success. I've failed now so I don't have to fail later. But I did it. I did exactly what I wanted to do, and no one can ever take that away from me. I lived that dream. I did it. And it wasn't until I finished living that dream when I realised it wasn't actually my dream. It was everyone else's. And that was so important for me to realise. I'm the most stubborn person I know. And to be honest, deep down, even before I went on this trip, I knew it wasn't going to be what I was looking for. But I had to see if this kind of lifestyle was for me. And for right now, it isn't. Every time I moved along a border, I wanted it to be England. Because until you physically remove yourself from your country, you forget how much you love it. See, when I went to America, I thought this is it. This is what I want. And maybe, in a few years' time, when I've done what I wanted to do here, I might get that feeling again. But for now, I couldn't be more content. I've realised being anywhere on a no one, that's good. But being somewhere on a someone, that's great.